How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the heinous video that many of you may have already seen, featuring a 20-year-old black man by the name of Jaden Hayden assaulting a 75-year-old man that appears to be white. Now, the reason why I say appears to be is because I can't tell if he's light-skinned, black, white, or whatever. Now, to me, it doesn't really matter if he's black or white, but to some people, it does matter, and I'll explain that in a little bit. The video was heinous, and obviously we're on YouTube right now. I cannot play it right here, but I will link to that in the box just so you understand how bad this whole thing is. Now, this incident happened in the Detroit, Michigan area at Westwood Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. The guy that was doing the assaulting was not a nurse like was previously reported. He was a patient there. Now, I don't know if it was for drugs, mental health, or whatever, but he was not a nurse. He was a patient. This happened right around May 15th during the whole coronavirus lockdown in nursing homes, okay, which is a problem because a lot of people's families were not able to go visit their loved ones for, I'm not really sure how long, for weeks, months, I don't know. Could you even check on them to see if they were okay, to see if they had not been abused physically, sexually, or whatever? I mean, because one thing you got to understand about these nursing homes is that even if they're not conjoined with a rehab center, which is crazy, I'll talk about that in a minute, they have a propensity to have violent actions happen or inappropriate actions happen to the patients because it's just them. They can't really respond. They can't really talk a lot of the time. So things go on and you never really would know. All right. I think it was a case of nursing home patients getting the STD, just ridiculous stuff, right? That goes on in these places. And then with the virus lockdown, you can't even check and see what's going on. And if you call, they might not even know. Now, let's talk about this rehab center and nursing home combination. This is crazy. You should not have dangerous and crazy guys like Jaden Hayden right next door to an elderly man or any elderly people that cannot defend themselves. They can't speak up. They can't do anything. They're just going to be there just getting abused by this person. And if you're going to have this situation where you got guys right next door to dangerous young people, they need to be sectioned off. It's got to be tight security. There should be cameras everywhere. And if you have a loved one in a nursing home like I have before, invest in a camera or something just to make sure that everything's on the up and up because guys like this are roaming around. Now, this story is like on local news in Detroit. It's on some conservative blogs. I'm talking about it. But will it reach mainstream media? Maybe. That's a big maybe. And the only reason why it might reach mainstream media with any kind of, covers more than one day is because Trump tweeted about it. And I'll place that tweet on the screen before you. Okay, so he's concerned about it. He's showing compassion about it. But the media will not touch the story with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because the narrative ain't there. Matter of fact, it could kind of ruin their narrative. And what's the narrative? Okay, if you're a black person walking around minding your business, you're going to be attacked by a white person. That's the narrative. Black victim, white aggressor. That's the general narrative. Even if the man in the first video that we've all seen was black, it doesn't really matter because he appears to be white. And that is enough for the media to kind of avoid the story. And matter of fact, if he's black, then they're definitely going to avoid it because that's black on black crime. Now, like I said, I don't really care about the race. Anybody that does what this monster did should be locked up. And he is locked up right now. The police did get him. So that's not even a question. The race is not as important as the crime to me. But to mainstream media, to a lot of these lefties, race does matter. I'm trying to get beyond race. I'm trying to just not really be race all the time. But what am I to do? I can't really help it because it's a thing that people have not really been able to get beyond. And a lot of that is because of the mainstream media stoking tension. All right. They know they can get a lot of attention, a lot of views, a lot of clicks, and a lot of, I guess you would call it clout by reporting on stories where there's a black victim. They could do that. But when it's a white victim and it's a black perpetrator, oh, no, we can't talk about that. And you know what? The reality is that there's much less cases of white perpetrator and black victim of a senseless crime than there is the other way around. There's much less. I can tell you about stories that I've seen in the news, not in the news, in, real, kind of like underground media, local news of black perpetrator and white victim than the other way around, for sure. I mean, we've seen things in the news too. We saw that situation happen in the New York City area. It might have been in Jersey, but in the New York City area where you got the black Hebrew Israelite. I don't want to call them Hebrew Israelites, but they were kind of like sympathetic towards them. They had some of the same talking points. They were black Hebrew Israelite orbiters, basically. They went and stormed a Jewish store with guns, shooting and killing people. They got killed by the police too, right there. Oh, that's not really a big deal. You had, what was it, Michael Xavier Johnson killing police officers. You've had a lot of black on white violence, but it's not really a big deal. You may see a fight on Warstar. It'd be one white kid on the floor getting stomped down by 18 black kids, and it's not really a problem. Nobody care about that. If it's black on black, don't nobody care. I saw another video of a girl in New York getting stomped and robbed by a bunch of black boys. Black girl, black boys, stomped and robbed. Not a real big deal. That's not really anything we're gonna talk about. But I hear Charlottesville every single day, and that was 3 years ago, because the narrative that the media wanted to push is that it was white supremacist violence. Although to me, it doesn't make much sense, because you had a white man that killed a white woman. So how was it white supremacist violence? If it's, a white man burning down a black church or something like that, then maybe I can understand. There have been incidents where people thought that it was a white man burning down the black church, but then it wound up being fake. It wound up being arson. It wound up being some kind of insurance scam or something like that. It's like a constant thing over and over again. The media will cover a fake story of white on black crime or hate incident or something like that than it will of an actual case recorded on tape of a black man assaulting a white man, a black woman assaulting a white woman, or any kind of combination. Black on white crime gets totally ignored. White on black crime gets invented. And if it actually happens, it gets highlighted to the highest of the high. Even if there's justice served swiftly, even if it was kind of ambiguous, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is I've said it before. All that matters is a narrative, not facts. I don't want to kind of like politicize it, but it's an elephant in the room. I got to address it. I'm not going to not address it. Hopefully the man that was assaulted and the others that were assaulted are able to be well and, not just physically well, but mentally well as well, because, you somebody that can't really move around, you're struggling, you got problems. I mean, that video was really hard to watch. To see that man be just in pain like that, it was really hard. That pain is beyond skin deep. It's beyond bone, muscle deep. It's something that hurt his heart. So hopefully he's able to heal from that. And this guy that did that, oh man, I'm talking about Gitmo, really. Big rocks, little rocks, because that's crazy. Elder abuse, and not just one person, but multiple people. Now, like I said, he was in the rehab center. I don't think he was in a nursing home, obviously. He was able to move around. So he was in the rehab center. What was he there for? Was it drugs? Was it mental problems? I don't really know. But what I do know was that a guy like that should have probably not been there to begin with. Did he get admitted? Was he there, on his own free will? What was going on? I heard he went to a boxing gym. Did he just leave the rehab center and go to the boxing gym on his spare time? What's going on with this guy? I want to know more. But before we know anything more, lock this guy up under the jail. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that this guy should have been in this place with this elderly man and elderly people at all? Do you think that this guy in this case are going to get covered in the media at all, really? Maybe like a slight mention, but will it be more than a slight mention? You know where I stand. This case is ridiculous. This case is disgusting. It's egregious. This guy needs to be locked up for a very long time. Mental health, no mental health, I don't really care. You can't be assaulting people. And I think the main thing we got to look at is these nursing homes, rehab centers. We got to have more security there. And this whole virus thing has people locked out of their loved ones' homes. They can't even go visit them in these places. That's crazy. We got to just let this stuff go. I think that this lockdown thing is causing more harm than good. But whatever your thoughts are, Please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.